He was in this little cute blanket, and he looked so little, like a little kid. And he looked up and he immediately meowed, like kind of like I'm scared. I'm scared, but like also kind of like happy, I think, to see us. And I immediately felt relieved, like seeing him one last time, you know. That's how I deal with it. I know some people don't like to be there, but I felt like so much better just holding. They gave him to me, and I held him in my arms. And he had a little IV. He had a little IV in his arm. And I just thought it was like so like cute. Not that he's dying or anything, but just like so cute that he had this tiny little IV. And he had like a bandage on his leg. And his pupils were still really big, and I just was holding him, and he was just laying there, and still like lethargic, like he had been for the last month or whatever. He was lethargic, but it was hard to tell because, like I said, he would always get up right away, like he was trying to hide it. And I would see him move around like the house, so I knew he was tired, like he wasn't going outside, but like he hid it so well. And I told the vet that, and she was like, he's not doing that right now. And I'm like, okay. Like, I think he finally had stopped kind of pretending, like, because he didn't want us to know. So I just held him for a while, and then my husband said goodbye, and he left. He didn't want to be there for the euthanasia, which I understand, but I wanted to. So like, you press a button, I guess, when you're ready to, like, euthanize them. So after I was, like, in the room with him for a little while, he wanted to get down eventually, so I let him get down, and I was like, you know, just let me know that I'm making, like, the right choice here. And that's what I said to Bruce. And then he was like trying to get up, but his balance was even worse. Like he was wobbling really bad. And then he got up and he peed in like this corner or area on the wall, and his tail went in it. And I was like, oh God, like I think this is him telling me, like, you know, I am dying. Because he normally would never do that, like lay in his own pee. So I cleaned him up, and then brought him more to the center of the room, and I could tell he was scared, and it seemed like he was kind of confused, but it didn't seem like he was trying to hide anymore or something, like how sick he was. And I gave him little treats. And at first he was really interested in them. Like he was licking them and stuff. But then he didn't eat them, and that was not normal for him. He would always eat. He always ate. So I was like, he's telling me, like, I need to let him go. Because I told him, like, let me know that like, I'm making the right choice. I don't want to. So then, eventually I was like, alright, and I called the vet in. She was very sweet. She's like, okay, this is how we do it. And she had, like, syringes, you know. She explained what each syringe was. Like, I feel like I got her. I feel like, in a way, it was, like, good karma. Like, I got a good vet who I didn't even know. I've never met her. This was just so random. You know, I just picked the first place we could go to, but I feel like it was good karma because I feel like I'm a pretty good nurse, and I feel like I'm pretty understanding and patient, so I wound up with this vet that was very like me. Like, she's honest, she's informative, she was just a good vet. I need to write a review on her. And I didn't feel like she was judging us, even though, like, yes, we did wait. We waited, not probably, we waited too long to take him to the vet. But it was like she could understand, she empathized with us or whatever. So she told us, or she told me, because Rick was in the car, she told me, like, what she was going to give him and what to expect and all this stuff. So, and right before she'd come in, he had kind of laid down in the center of the room, I kind of helped him, like, go there. And he tried to get up again, because I think he did want to live, but it just wasn't gonna happen. But he was trying to get up again. But when he was trying to get up, he was like, fall. He was trying to get up, but he was falling. And, he kept kind of falling, so I gently, like, just put my hand over him and just was like, it's okay. You know, you don't need to keep getting up. Like, you don't have to keep fighting it. Like, it's okay. So I just kind of laid him down before I called the vet. And I just kept petting him, and then the vet gave him a sedative. And see, it's hard for me again, because, like, I knew he did want to live. Like, that's why he was trying to get up again. Like, I think it was getting to the point where it was just impossible for him to hide how sick he was at this point. But I think he loved us, and he did want to live because he was young. And he finally, like, realized how much we loved him and everything. Like, when we brought him in the house. I remember, like, the first day when he was, like, in the house and just stayed in the house, he looked up at me, and there was just, like, so much, like, love in his eyes. Like, it was like he finally understood, like, we weren't trying to hurt him, and that we weren't gonna do anything but help him. And he just looked up at me like, I love you so much. That's why we thought we had, like, saved him, basically, by bringing him in the house. We didn't think he was dying. We thought we were saving him by, like, taking him out from the heat and helping him gain weight. Like, in our minds, we were doing, like, the right thing. Like, we were helping him, not hurting him or whatever. And I think we did extend his life a little bit longer, but he was just so sick that there wasn't a whole lot to be done. So anyway, she gave him a sedative, and when she gave it to him, he gave out, like, this, like, cry, and it was sad, like a sad meow. And a sad meow, like, what is this, or something. And, I don't know if maybe it's a little painful. I know sometimes when I'm giving stuff IV, people at first will be like, ow, because it's a little bit of pressure, and if you have a little vein, and his veins were probably so tiny from being dehydrated and all that, it probably was just, like, uncomfortable for him. So, but I just kind of told him it was okay and to go to heaven. And then she euthanized him, and it was very quick. And then I was allowed to stay in the room with him for as long as I wanted. But of course, you know, my husband wanted to leave. He called me. He was in the car. It was really hot, and I'd been there a long time with Bruce. And I think for my husband, it was, like, worse for him. He felt like it was dragging it out. For me, it felt better, like, but that's just how I grieve, and versus him. So, and he wasn't, I don't think Brucey was there anymore, so eventually, you know, I did have to leave, and I was really upset. But I had this feeling, though, when we got off the phone with the vet at the house, that, like, we had to euthanize him, and, like, we had to do it sooner than later, and this was the right thing. Like, it's a horrible thing, but it's the right thing to do by him. So basically, that's how, like, my cat basically died. Wow, this video is really long. But yeah, I'm still going through, like, the grief process and everything, but it does get better, but it feels like it's taking a long time at the same time, and I did not know how sad I would be, because I'm an animal lover, so I've lost many pets. I grew up with animals. I've lost so many pets over the years that you think, like, okay, this will be easier or whatever. But it's not, because, like, yes, I know how to, like, what makes me feel better after they die, like, how to cope and stuff. But it's still, like, just such an awful thing to go through. And every animal or person is going to have a different circumstance to how they die. And his was, I think, pretty awful. So that's why it's hard for me to move past it. Because he was so young, because it was unexpected, because, like, I felt like he finally really got, like, felt the love that we had for him and understood, like, life. It was hard that he would be taken. So, but I don't know, I hope you guys, maybe this helps somebody out there. I feel better, like, having explained kind of what happened. And I know that we gave him, like, the best life that we could. And a lot of people don't even like cats, let alone most people aren't gonna, like, adopt some outdoor stray cat. But, we both just kind of, like, fell in love with him. Like, you can't help how you feel. So that's why we did, and he did turn out to be a wonderful cat, and I wish things had been different, but he did have a good 3 years, and I think now, like, because I've thought about it a lot, and I think he might have had, like, the skin cancer, but we still don't really know what caused it, especially, like, why did he have low blood sugar? But the vet had just said that she didn't think it was diabetes, but at that point, like, he was so starving to death, because I looked at the paperwork, and I guess he was, like, under 5 pounds a little bit, which is horrible. And, but again, like, he would go off and hide the diarrhea or and I can't clean the litter box right now because I'm pregnant. So I don't know how much diarrhea he was having or whatever. And I don't know what was going on with him internally that was making him lose all this weight. But I think he probably might have gotten skin cancer because of those scabs he would always get. And, just like with his platelets and like, all his blood values being weird makes me think that he might have had some type of cancer, and I think skin cancer is, like, the obvious, probably one that he had. But I won't ever really find out till, you know, I'm dead someday. Hopefully I'll find out. But I was thinking about it a lot, and the vet said with the blood sugar that was more or less probably diabetes, and more just, like, by that point, he was starving to death so much that the body couldn't run off of fat, so it was using up its sugar reserve. So that's why. But the only regret that I really have is just not taking him to the vet sooner and being in denial, like, not thinking clearly, like, because he was behaving so good. Like, I guess everybody dies differently, and just because somebody isn't sad and obvious doesn't mean that, or mean or whatever, doesn't mean that they're not dying. And just, I wish I had focused a little more time on him towards the end, instead of being busy with the pregnancy and all that crap. But, you know, hindsight's 2020, but it just, again, for me, reaffirms that life is really short, that what matters at the end of the day isn't whatever goal or whatever that you have. It's more spending time and sharing love with your family and your loved ones, not running errands or whatever you think is like super important that day, and to be less selfish and more aware of what's going on with other people in your life. That's kind of that's what I learned from that, and to not wait till I get too sick. And I know I get upset sometimes. I'm like, why did this patient come in this late? Like, we could have saved them maybe if they'd come in earlier. And then here I do the same thing with my own cat. But I don't know that he would have survived, but at least give them like more of a fighting chance. So that's a big takeaway. But I don't know, I just love him, and I'm glad that I got to have 3 years with him, because if that was only 3 years, like, he helped me through a lot. I feel like my animals always give me more than I give them. He helped me through, like, buying our first house, and we had a lot of house problems, and through nursing school, and I would just go out to the back and pet him, and I would always feel better. So I'm very thankful that I had him for that time, and for when I had my first nursing job was very stressful, and he was there for me. I'm just thankful that I had him, and that he just chose to be in our yard. I don't know why he just showed up here. So I'm trying to stay positive, like think that like at least I got him, like he wasn't expected. And just the fact that we were able to like have that special bond with a wild animal, because not everybody gets that. And it just is like something cool that me and Rick will always have that most people won't. Like, so I'm happy to have experienced that, and I'm happy for like all the love he gave us, and just being an awesome little soul. So alright guys, I think this video is way too long. And again, this is more video for me, but hopefully it helps somebody out there. Okay. I know that my little Brucey wouldn't want me to be sad, so I'm just trying to do things that help me, and that's talking about it, because my husband doesn't want to talk about it at all. It's too painful for him, which I understand, but it helps me. So, alright, if you guys need to leave comments below or share something that's happened to you like this, just do that. Don't forget to subscribe, and, you know, if you haven't, so if you haven't already, subscribe, I guess, and alright, I hope you guys take care. I hope you guys spend more time with your loved ones, and in this hustle bustle of this life, like, remember what's important, that life is short. Enjoy every day and try to make the most out of every day. You never know when you're gonna die or when your loved ones will die, so just try to keep that in mind. Okay, bye guys, stay safe.